Hey YouTube, I'm here for the first time ever with my holiday tag video. I was encouraged by Sean over at Hearth and Soul to do this holiday tag when I commented on his. So I have mostly the same questions, but I did change a couple of them because in his tag, or at least the one that he did, he had a couple questions that I didn't personally have an answer to. So rather than just saying 4 or 5 times, I don't know or nothing or whatever, and make it boring, I figured I would just go to other people's tags and write in new questions I had answers to. So without further ado, I will get started. So if you see me looking over here, it's where all my questions are, so like don't be distracted by that, or if you are, then sorry about it, but whatever. Okay, so my first question is, would you rather have a candy cane or a gingerbread man or gingerbread cookie or whatever? So my answer to that is I would rather have a candy cane. So I won't say no to the gingerbread. However, as you guys know from my channel, you guys would know that I'm not really into spicy things. Like I don't like spicy holiday candles. And that's why I tend to prefer spring and summer over fall and winter stuff from Bath & Body Works. And just the same way with my diet, I don't really care for spicy things. Like, I will eat something hot or eat something with ginger or cinnamon, but it's not really my thing. So I'd rather have the cooling sensation of the candy cane. And that's why twisted peppermint tends to be my jam during the holidays. I love that kind of cooling effect. So, and actually it's quite perfect since it's summer now. So long-winded, but I'll take the candy cane, but I won't say no to that gingerbread cookie. My second question that I have is, what is your favorite holiday food? My favorite holiday food that we have in my family are these yeast rolls that my mom makes. And I told my boyfriend Jake about it, and he's like, doesn't every roll have yeast in it? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. These are different. So I don't know what they're called, but every single year since I was a little kid, my mom would buy these rolls that come frozen, and they kind of look like eggs. And she puts 2 into each cup, I guess, in kind of like a cupcake tin. And she has to do them pretty early, like well before we have people over, because what she'll do is she'll set them out in the cupcake tins, set them on the stove and cover them in plastic wrap overnight. And then overnight they'll swell up because of that yeast or whatever and just be huge by morning, and then she'll bake them. So I don't know what they're called, but there are these certain types of rolls that do that, and they're so fluffy and delicious. I could like binge eat them, and in fact I did for about 27 years. They're so good. Okay, so my number 3 is, do you have a real or a fake Christmas tree? So for the past couple of years I actually have not had a Christmas tree, just because I have been living in apartments and, you know, whatever. And I just don't have the space for it, and because it's me and I do holidays elsewhere, I don't really feel like I need one. However, when I ultimately am at a point in my life again where I have a Christmas tree, then I'm going to kind of revert back to my childhood and go real or nothing. As far as I'm concerned, if you have the space for it and if you have the funds for it, you've got to get a real tree. So I know some people might disagree, so don't be in the comments like, but at least to me, you should have a real tree. There's something just about the fragrance of it and the look and the festivity of it that I just love. So like I said, when I was a child, we always had real ones, and it just made the house smell so good for the entire month of December, and it was so fun to decorate it. So I just wanted, if I have kids or not, I just want to be able to relive those memories and do that kind of thing again. The fourth question is, do you prefer white lights or colored lights? So I like white lights on the outside of a house. I think that there's something very sleek and contemporary and classic about them. And I always love when they're like perfectly done, like in rows on the edges of the house or whatever. I think there's something really fancy, and not fancy, but something really nice about that. And I actually like colored lights on the inside of the house. So like lighted or lit garland, or just lights on a Christmas tree. I just think that white lights inside are very intense. And like I said, back when I was a child, we always had colored lights on the Christmas tree. So we had colored lights on the outside too. But yeah, colored lights on that Christmas tree, it was just wonderful. So I would love to have that kind of aesthetic again. So white lights on the outside, colored on the inside. My next question is, have you ever regifted something? My answer is no. I've never received something that I can remember that like was just so bad and I just wanted to get rid of it. So I don't have any memory of ever having done this. And in fact, I actually have a hard time getting rid of gifts that I don't really care for because of like, you know, the guilt associated with it. So that's actually something I want to improve on in 2018 is as I'm decluttering my life and continuing that process, just letting go of things that were given to me that it's not that I dislike them, but I don't really love them and having to get rid of that guilt. So that's something you'll probably see coming up in January on my channel, by the way. Okay, my next question is, what is your favorite thing about winter and snow? So I kind of laughed at this question because I hate winter. It is by far my least favorite season. I don't like when it is icy. I don't like when it's cold and drab and whatever. But I did manage to come up with an answer here. So it's not when it's over. Like, I guess ultimately that is my favorite part because spring is my favorite season. But my favorite thing, and this is about snow, is the way that it looks when it's fresh powder. So my philosophy is, as long as I don't have to go outside in it, snow is okay. So when it has freshly fallen and it just looks very powdery and kind of like hills across the field or maybe across your yard or whatever, and nothing has disturbed it, it looks so beautiful and light and airy, and I love it. So again, I don't like to go out in it, but if I can just stay inside and look at it, that's really nice. Okay, number 7 is a question that I changed. I don't remember what it used to be. I don't know, whatever. But I changed it to, what is something I'm looking forward to this Christmas? I'm looking forward to my mother being in town. So she is coming to Australia for the first time, and she will get here next Thursday. So I think today is Wednesday, yeah? So at least here it's Wednesday. So yeah, in 8 days, she'll be arriving in Melbourne for the first time and having her first summer Christmas. And this will also be my first summer Christmas. So it will not be my first hot Christmas. I have spent one Christmas in Hawaii, I think in 2011. And then last year for Christmas, I was in Miami. So it's been warm a couple of times on Christmas for me, but never actually summer. So this will be a first for both of us. I love my mom. I'm very close to her. So I'm really excited about her coming into town. Number 8 is, what is your favorite holiday memory? So back in the day when I was a child, my parents were still together. You know, we were all like in one house. We had this rule where my sisters and I would get up early. It was always my little sister. I'm the middle of 3 girls, by the way. So it was always my little sister who would wake up first and come harass me and our oldest sister to get up at some like stupid hour, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And she would just want to go run downstairs to the Christmas tree and just look at what was there. And my older sister Lauren and I were always just like we're excited, but come on. But we always had this rule where we had to wait until my dad's dad got to the house every Christmas at 6 a.m. to open anything. And I just remember once I finally got out of bed with my 2 sisters, we would always wait by the storm door looking out because we lived at the end of a cul-de-sac, looking out and waiting to see my grandpa's car coming into the driveway. So looking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe our parents were sane people by the end of those Christmases, but I don't know. It was just something I always looked forward to, and I really loved my dad's dad especially, so yeah. My next question is, would you rather dress up or stay in your jammies on Christmas? So I would rather stay in my pajamas when I'm at home and opening gifts and just being generally cozy. But then when we would go to relatives' houses or have people come over to our house for Christmas lunch, I would rather dress up. So I didn't really like to dress up when I was a child because, you know, it's kind of one of those things where your parents make you and whatever. But as I've gotten older and my sisters and I have, you know, aged and whatever, I actually really like to dress up. My little sister is a bit of a fashionista, so I always like to kind of get her opinion on what to dress up in and go from there. My next question is, do you send Christmas cards? Actually, no. So I think I may start, again, maybe in my 30s, maybe if I have kids or whatever. But at this point in my life, no. My parents and my family in general have never done like the photo Christmas cards. We used to get portraits done every Christmas, and my parents would dress my sisters and I up in like the same dress and like do those posed JCPenney portraits, but we never sent them out as Christmas cards. So my mom sends out just kind of handwritten cards, but that's about it. My next question I have is, what is your favorite holiday drink? This is also one that I chose to change from Sean's tag. I've got two answers here. I've got an alcoholic answer and a non-alcoholic. So my non-alcoholic answer is hot chocolate with an inappropriate number of marshmallows. So I love sweets. I definitely have a sweet tooth, and yeah, I just love sitting around drinking hot chocolate, looking out into the cold that I don't have to be in, at least not yet. So yeah, I really love that. And I just have these Christmas memories of Christmas break when I was a young kid just drinking hot chocolate and playing on the computer. Like, I remember having this game called Kid Pix, which was kind of like an art studio computer game, I guess, that I really loved. I was definitely an Age of Empires girl. I was a Sims girl. So yeah, just playing on the computer with my sisters, drinking hot chocolate, and just having fun over winter break is something that I'll always associate with that. And my alcoholic answer, now that I am 27, is I'm a martini drinker. I love any kind of festive martini. So I especially love like herbal natural mint. Like, my boyfriend's horrified by it. He can't stand the taste of like a mint leaf, but I really like it. So something that's kind of minty or something with cranberry would be good for me. Number 12 is, what is my favorite Christmas tradition? A favorite Christmas tradition of mine from back in Wichita is driving around on Christmas Eve with my parents and my dad as of late, and just looking at Christmas lights around the city. So there are a couple places in Wichita, and I'm sure there are a couple places in like many other cities that are just renowned for having streets lined with really ornate Christmas decorations and things like that. So we always like to do that kind of thing. Number 13 is, what do you want for Christmas this year? So I know a lot of people will go like the humanitarian route and say world peace or no hunger or, you know, whatever. But I interpreted this as like a selfish question, like, what do I personally want for Christmas? I kind of laugh at this because I told my boyfriend a couple days ago what I wanted, because I've been harassing him to tell me, so he wanted to know from me. And I told him, and he was quite disappointed, that I just want new watch batteries. And he's like, are you serious? That's what you want out of like everything you could possibly get? And I was like, yeah, well, he's like, well, don't you want a Bath and Body Works gift card? Nah, because it's expensive here. I can just buy it in the States. Don't you want this? Don't you want that? Nah. I just changed the batteries in my watches because I need them for work next year anyway. So there you go. That's all I really want. I mean, I don't know, because, you know, I feel like as we get older and, you know, we don't have kids or whatever, I just feel like if I really want something, I can go out and just buy it. I mean, technically I could just go out and buy watch batteries, but it's kind of what I could think of right then and there that would be useful. So I don't like to get frivolous things. I would rather have something that's very functional, even though it's kind of boring, like a watch battery. So I have about 3 or 4 watches that need their batteries replaced, so I told him to just foot the bill on that, I guess. But if I could choose something that cannot be purchased, I would choose getting my teaching license processed over here and getting my next visa. So I just completed the last thing I need to do to become eligible to apply for my next visa. So I'm off to send that to my attorney now. But yeah, again, something you can't really buy. I mean, technically I have to buy my license and buy my visa, but really what I want is for the government to hurry up and approve them. So that's it. So that's all for my holiday tag. Thanks so much for sticking around. And I tag Callie from Callie Cat, and one of my favorite YouTubers, I've talked about her many times, Alexis from my Project Pan videos. So I will link them down below. I will type all these questions down below, and feel free to do your own tags too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.